Now here are 3 cool ways to harmonize D-flat major scale. Okay, so we're looking at the D-flat major scale. That's D-flat, and to get from one D-flat to the next in terms of the major scale, now we can take this and we can play it in several different ways. I'm just going to show you 3 really cool ways you can do it. One is very common, one is not so common, and one is a new concept that I created just today. The very common way we can reharmonize or harmonize this scale is by playing in sixths. So we keep the melody on top. The melody is the scale. Alright. And we've got F on the bottom and D flat on top. And we're just going to follow through the major scale, keeping the interval for sixths. If we count along the major scale, you'd see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you just keep that interval throughout until you get up to the next octave of the D flat. Alright? So this is how it will work. Pretty cool, right? And you can work around it and do cool things. And really make your music sound interesting. Now, this next pattern is one that's probably not so familiar in some circles. However, it's very useful for creating richness and a little more density to your playing. And the concept is based on 2 chords. The first is a major 6th chord. This is D flat major 6th that I'm playing here in first inversion, because that will be root position. That's your root, your major 3rd, your 5th, and your 6th, D flat, F, A flat, and B flat. If we invert it up, so the D flat goes on top, you now have first inversion of D flat major 6th. Right. Now the next chord that we will be using in the pattern for playing the D flat scale would be the diminished chord. It's just the inversion of the diminished chord that we're going to internalize, that we're going to learn, that we're going to apply to this scale harmonization. So what we do, we start with the major 6th, then we go to the diminished. If you notice, already we've covered the first 2 notes of the scale. Then we want to go to the 3rd. We're now using the 2nd inversion of D flat major 6th. That was root, that's first inversion, that's your 2nd inversion. So basically, if we want to play the melody of D flat major, we can do that. First inversion of the major 6th chord, then we can do a diminished. So it's like we're alternating between major 6th and diminished, right? So major 6th, diminished, major 6th, right? Diminished. Now we're playing the 4th note of the scale. If you can hear it, okay? Alright. Next we have, this would be 3rd inversion of D flat major 6th. Remember, that's root, 1st inversion, 2nd inversion, 3rd inversion of D flat major 6th. And that would allow us to play that fifth note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far we've got this major sixth, diminished, major sixth, diminished. Then we have another major sixth, third inversion to allow us to play that fifth note. Now we want the sixth note. Now we can play a root position major sixth for the D flat chord. So it's D flat major sixth in root position, and that allows us to have the sixth on top. Okay. Then to accommodate the seventh note of that scale, which is C natural, we can use a diminished starting on E flat, G flat, A, and C. Okay. So from here, major sixth, allowing us to play sixth note. Then we do a diminished, allowing us to play the seventh note. And then we land on the first inversion of D flat major sixth, allowing us to play the root, which is an octave up from where we started, which is the same chord as that, just taking up one octave. Okay, so the whole thing will sound like this. Okay. Now you can use this and really learn them so that you can play melodies Did you see that? I was playing Mary Had a Lamb using this pattern. Pretty cool, right? So now you have an opportunity to really be creative and get colorful with your playing just by using this concept of alternating a major sixth chord from the root and so on with the diminished. Okay? And so on. So now let's go to the final concept, which is one I came up with today. It's a bit out of the box, but it's a really interesting way. It just shows you what's possible with regards to reharmonizing a scale, a major scale. Okay? Alright, so the chords we have, this is G minor 7 flat 5. So we've got the G, F, that's the 7th, that's the minor 3rd, B flat, and you got the flat 5, which is D flat. Alright, this next chord is G flat minor 6th. So G flat, B flat, A, E flat. Right? Then we have F13. And I'm sliding into the 13th there, which is D. So you got F, E flat, the 7th, A, that's the 3rd. I'm landing on that 13th, which is the D, and I've got the root on top, the F. Alright? Alright? Okay, here we now have E flat minus 7, sharp 5. That's your E flat. That's the sharp 5 there. That's the 7th. And that's the minor 3rd. Okay? So you got E flat, B, D flat, and G flat. Alright? And then we have, this is E major 6th. E, there you got that D flat, you've got that A flat, you've got that D flat, you've got the major 7 in there, which is the E flat and A flat. Then it goes to A flat 7/11 at 13. So A flat, F, G flat, B flat, D flat, F, and B flat. Alright? The 13 is the F in there. The G flat is the 7. You also got the 9 in there. That's the 11. The D flat. That's another 13. That's a 9 on top. Alright? Then you have, that's A flat over G flat. A flat major in second inversion over G flat major with a 9 in there. But in reality, you could look at it as G flat major 9 with a flat 5, which is that C natural, that's a flat 5. Okay? I'm using my thumb to play both A flat and B flat, as you can see. Then we just take this chord up a half step. So we're now doing A over G for simplicity, but it's really like a G major 9 with the flat 5 on top. But it's like A major, second inversion, over the G, over the G. Okay? Alright, now when I come back down, I'll do everything the same except the last chord. So here I can do a little run. Yeah, so I'm sliding E flat to D, chromatically down, E flat, C, B, up to D, and landing on D flat. Alright? Then I go back to the G flat minor 6th. But when I come to the end, I don't end with the G where I started. I actually end on D major 7 with a sharp 11 or a flat 5th, anyhow you want to look at it, added, which is this A flat. Alright? So the whole thing again